Hi there, my name is David Hidalgo, and in this video I'll be talking about alcohol and tobacco. Now, it is important for me to state that throughout this presentation, I'll be covering more about alcohol rather than tobacco. Reason for that is that there's a lot of people in Australia, not just in Australia, but around the world who like to drink alcohol. A lot of people do it for relaxation purposes. They can come back from a long days of work, they enjoy a beer, or they just enjoy, a drink. And we mostly see alcohol being used for celebration purposes. People who graduate, there's always champagne being provided. People who win sports tournament, they're always drinking champagne. You go anywhere, celebration drinks can be beer, it can be anything. There's different varieties of celebration drinks as well. And it's reason why I'll be talking more about alcohol is because more people tend to enjoy that rather than tobacco. Tobacco you know, is something that people do for relaxation purposes as well. However, as more studies are being shown and being promoted to the public about the harmful effects it has, that has reduced the number of people who actually like to smoke or actually would smoke every day. There's casual smokers as well. Um, we know the dangers that passive smoking can have as well. So that's the reason why I'll be covering more about alcohol rather than tobacco. So yeah, it is fascinating. Just to state with the group, it's fascinating that alcohol, we're pretty much bombarded with that everywhere. Both alcohol and tobacco are both drugs and both are legal, and yet till this day, they remain widely available to everyone. Alcohol, you go to Coles, Woolies, next to those big chains, they have their alcohol store, which is Liquorland for Coles and BWS for Woolies. You go there, you have the alcohol store right next to it. Next to a petrol station, you can have a Liquorland, a bottler there as well. While tobacco, you go to Coles, Woolies, or petrol station, you can get tobacco there as well. We even have tobacconist stores, and both these, as they're both widely available, they've become very easily to be abused as well. So yeah, it's pretty fascinating. Yeah, and just to state for the record as well, alcohol, tobacco, and drugs in general, they're the three. Those three are the main things that give diseases to people, and yet it's very preventable. It's preventable. So yeah, it's sad, but yeah. So what is alcohol? Alcohol is a drug. For those who don't know, it's a depressant substance, which means it slows down both your brains and your physical capabilities. Okay, so yeah, it's a depressant substance. It's also important to remember that alcohol, you can find alcohol content things in perfume, Dettol like hand sanitizers, deodorant. You can find alcohol in different things. However, the alcohol that we're going to be concentrating on is the ethanol alcohol. Now, the ethanol alcohol is the one that actually gets people drunk. It can be found in beers, wine, and spirits. Okay, and surprisingly enough, ethanol is a thing that actually can be found in gasoline as well. So yeah, something to think about before you actually put it in your body. Um, how is alcohol made? Well, alcohol is made when yeast ferments the sugar in the grains, or it can be fruits or vegetables. Now, usually in Australia, we have the Bundaberg rum up in Bundaberg, okay, up in North Queensland. They make their drinks through the sugar canes as well. I know with potatoes is the main thing to mix with vodka. Uh, the vegetable potatoes being the main thing that you need to make vodka. So yeah, interesting how it is made, because when you think about it, all these fermentation, the process of it takes a couple of years, and these couple of years can actually be 5, or if you're talking about spirits or wine as well, before it actually like is perfect to drink, it actually needs to like be fermented for like 12 years. So yeah, it's pretty interesting how it's all made, but yeah. So how does alcohol work? Pretty much when consumed, alcohol is distributed through the body and absorbed into the bloodstream. Most of the alcohol is absorbed through the stomach and the intestines. Once in the bloodstream, alcohol can cross the blood-brain barrier and affect the brain. Um, the liver breaks down the alcohol and metabolizes or processes the liquor to pass through the system. So it's not just affecting in there, it's affecting your brain and it's actually getting to your blood, which pretty much is affecting everything now. And the alcohol also affects the neurotransmitter GABA, reducing the nerve signals and lowers both cognitive and physical capabilities. So that's why I'm pretty sure everyone knows, but you've seen in the movies as well, or even RBT show on Channel 9 as well. Those who drink, those who are like really intoxicated, when they drive, their driving skills is not even like at 80%, like, some even make it to 50%, It slows down your reaction time. That's why they tell you not to drink and drive. And as we see in the movies, a person gets too heavily intoxicated, they get tanked or wasted. They get wasted, and the next day they've probably gotten with their mate's girlfriend, or they've done something big, something they regret. They've taken off their shirt or done a strip show, whatever it is. They've done something that they regret. And why? Because they were heavily intoxicated. When you're heavily intoxicated, you don't really think much about the consequences. Someone comes up to you with an idea, it can be the greatest idea, but yet when you're sober, probably isn't. So, the blood alcohol content, which is known as BAC, okay? Now with this, sorry about that. Now with this, there are certain things that affect the blood and alcohol content, okay? And some of these things, the number one factor that affects it is the body weight. A person with a larger body weight mass will have to drink more alcohol to get the same effects compared to someone with a lesser body mass, okay? Now with me, my body mass ain't that great. So if I was to have like 2 drinks compared to someone with a greater body mass, I will be feeling the effects of alcohol more quickly compared to that person. Okay, reason why? It's my body mass. My body mass ain't that great. I don't have a lot of things to break down the alcohol. Reason why I will get intoxicated more quickly compared to that with a greater body mass. Number 2, food. If a person has been eating while drinking, the alcohol will take longer to have an effect on the consumer. While those who don't eat, if you drink with an empty stomach, you're most likely to feel the alcohol pretty much close. You pretty much feel it quick. Yeah. Number 3, how much alcohol is being consumed and the time period of it. So if I'll use myself as an example. If I was to drink, say, 2 beers, I'm pretty sure everyone's familiar with a skull, okay? There's always those people that go around, going up to someone, they're like, skull, skull, skull. If someone was to do that to me and I were to have 2 beers within like 2 minutes, I would surely be feeling the alcohol there compared to someone who's drinking 2 beers in 5 minutes. Why? Because that alcohol is coming into the body very quickly, and I don't have, it just comes to the body quickly. While those, if you pace yourself, it takes alcohol longer to actually take effect on the consumer. And number 4, the type of beverage as well. Okay, so as we know, beer is probably the less strong out of all the beverages. Then you have the wine, and then you have the spirits. Spirits are those drinks that usually contain 20% and can be up to 80%. Those are the spirits, which is high alcohol content compared to beer and wine. Those things can have, probably the strongest would be like 12% maybe. But beer is usually roughly like 4% as well. So yeah, if I was to drink beer, say I had 5 beers, I would probably be like very buzzed compared to someone who's had 2 glasses of, let's say, spirit. So let's say vodka, which is roughly 40%. We could probably be on the same level. Reason why is because the drink that he's having is more alcohol content, has more alcohol compared to my one. That's why. So as we all know, we're pretty much familiar with the effects of alcohol, the short terms. Now, short terms of alcohol can usually be experienced through just a heavy drinking session, or those who like to binge drink. Now, those who binge drink, they pretty much drink to actually get smashed or get heavily intoxicated. Okay, and when that happens, they're gonna experience all these things. Okay, and they can experience dizziness, nausea, blurred vision, lack of judgment, loss of coordination, memory loss, blackout, and memory lapse. Okay, these are the things that can be experienced from those who binge drink or just had too much. And I'm pretty sure we're all familiar with the movie The Hangover. Yeah, great. It's a funny movie. However, the short-term effects can be experienced through the next day, and that is called it is called a hangover. Okay, when one person has had too many, or they absolutely got smashed the night before, they can still feel the effects of alcohol, and these effects can be, as mentioned, it's a hangover, and the hangover includes headaches, your head hurts, tiredness, dry mouth, increased heart rate, trouble concentrating, and anxiety. And just like the movie, they have no recollection of what has happened the night before. So, yeah, these are the short term effects. Remember, short term effects not necessarily experienced all through the night, it can be experienced to the next day as well. Effects of alcohol long term effects are those who it can be experienced by individuals who just continue to drink each week or every day as well. Like I said, some people like to come back from work, have a drink as well. Some get carried away. Or those who actually like the feeling of it or drink and become dependent on alcohol to function. Okay? And the long term effects can include loss of concentration, memory stroke, increased blood pressure, heart damage or attacks, liver disease, financial troubles, and work and social problems. Okay? Now, where I work with um, there's one guy, they talk about that he's probably like an alcoholic, which is a sad thing. But yeah, you can tell that his work ethic is not the best at the moment because the actual drink is actually becoming a problem. So yeah, it's things to think about. If you see someone who's having trouble with drink or alcohol, best to talk about it. So profile of alcohol, okay. Now it's pretty hard to profile those who are really alcoholics because yes, alcoholics can be those you see like the bums on the streets. They always have like that bottle in that brown bag. However, that's not necessarily true all the time. Alcoholics can be found those who are very successful as well that can have alcohol problems as well. Very alcoholics. So yeah, it's very hard to actually profile those who are alcoholics. You can kind of distinguish them by their profile of their physical capabilities, okay? And what I mean physical capabilities, like the physical signs that they show. And some of these signs can include sweating, nausea, insomnia, drinking regularly on their own as well, and fighting with family and friends, just usually mostly over drinks as well. So these are some of the signs to look out for. For those who want to withdraw from drinking as well, it can sound easy, but really it's more challenging. Okay, withdrawal symptoms can appear when there's a whole consumption of alcohol. These signs include anxiety, headaches, nausea, seizures as well, high blood pressure, high fever, and excessive sweating. So these are some of the things to look out for. Drinking responsibly. Okay, so now alcohol affects everyone differently. Okay, they can say one drink is good if you're gonna drive. However, one drink, depending on what you drink as well, can have a different effect compared to someone. As we previously discussed, depends on your body mass as well, or those factors. Depending if you have eaten or not, alcohol can affect your body or a different person differently. Okay, not everyone's the same. However, to drink responsibly as well, it is important that you do these things. Number one is set a limit and stick to it. Okay. it can be hard to stick to it, as you have one drink, you can get easily carried away. So remember, if you have a limit, stick to it. Number two, count the number of drinks you are consuming. That way you can be like, oh, like I'm actually getting carried away or not. Do not drink too quickly. Pace yourself. Okay. If you're drinking like quickly for whatever reason, then that can be bad because the alcohol will hit you very hard. While if you pace yourself, it takes longer for the alcohol to actually have an effect. Try drinks with lower alcohol or alternative drinks with non-alcohol content in them. Okay, and eat a meal before you start or while you're drinking. So one of the best things to actually absorb the alcohol with food is bread. Okay, because bread actually absorbs a lot of that alcohol. So yeah, if you plan to drink responsibly, remember to practice these tips and stick to them. Okay. Now tobacco. Now today, yeah, tobacco. Remember, is a drug as well. It's a mild stimulant drug, which means it kind of keeps you awake, keeps you concentrated in a way. That's what mild stimulant means. Okay. Now you can pretty much find tobacco in products such as cigarettes, cigars, pipes. People can actually chew on tobacco, the tobacco leaves itself, and wet. Dry snuff contain dried leaves from the tobacco plant. Okay. Nicotine is being the main agent in the tobacco, so that's the addictive substance in the cigarettes. Is a nicotine. Nicotine can be found in tobacco, but yeah, that's an addictive thing. So just like alcohol with ethanol, tobacco is nicotine. So how tobacco works? Pretty much tobacco is inhaled. We all know how it works. People need to inhale that stuff. While the nicotine rapidly reaches peak levels in the bloodstream and enters the brain. As nicotine is being delivered throughout the body, there is a kick caused in part by the drug stimulation of the adrenal glands and resulting discharge of epinephrine. Is that how you call it? Pretty much the thing that's in charge of your adrenaline. Okay, so it actually has a rush in the adrenaline. The rush of the adrenaline stimulates the body and causes an increase in blood pressure and respiration and heart rate as well. Nicotine also activates reward pathways in the brain circuitry that regulates reinforcement and feelings of pleasure. So that's how tobacco works. Once you consume, it goes throughout your whole body as well. Effects of tobacco, short term, we pretty much the short terms can include feeling more alert, happy and relaxed, surprisingly. Coughing, if you smoke too much, you can experience a cough as well. Dizziness, if you inhale too quickly, you can experience that. Fast heart rate beat, bad breath, tingling or numbness in finger and toes, reduced appetite, stomach cramps, and vomiting. Now, the vomiting can be experienced for those who actually smoke like a chimney. Like, if you're a non-smoker and you decide to smoke a whole packet within a space of an hour, then you're most likely to experience that. Of course, long-term effects can be emphysema, asthma, gum or heart and lung disease, reduced sense of taste and smell, tooth decay, mood swings, cancer, brain damage, and drug dependency as well. And with the drug dependency, like you might want to, you're probably smoking marijuana or you're taking other drugs, but yet you need to mix the tobacco with it as well. So that's why they say that it can lead to drug dependency as well. So yeah, something to think about. Now, profile of tobacco pretty much is kind of like alcohol. There are some people, it's hard to profile those who are really dependent on it because some people can be casual drinkers, casual smokers, and then there are those who actually smoke every day. And some people like to have a smoke with a drink. So yeah, it can be hard at times to actually distinguish. However, you can see those who are really smokers. They have to walk out from their breaks and smoke. They have to walk to the smoking designated area to have their smoke. So yeah. But people who are dependent on tobacco can show signs such as, obviously craving to smoke, I was working at a factory, and yet this guy would be like, "Oh man, I need to smoke right now." Oh, hold on. Sorry about that. Yeah, some people would be like, "Oh, I need to smoke right now," because they need to settle down, or one of those. Feeling anxious as well, stressed out when they're gonna have their cigarette, irritable, or just feeling down as well. Now, smoking responsibly, it's best to say now that there is no pretty much smoke safe responsibly. Now, as I previously discussed in the beginning, that everyone's knowing the effects and the harmful effects that smoking tobacco can have. So that's why there's really no responsible way of smoking it. However, if one was to like smoke casually or like continue smoking, they need to set a limit and stick to it. Do not let other people pressure you into smoking. And yeah, just remember, smoking is bad for those around you as well, as passive smoke can have a harmful effect on their health as well. So yeah. So yeah, to actually combat with these issues, it's important to seek help. Whether you're dependent on the alcohol, dependent on tobacco, it can have harmful effects on you as well. So yeah, these are just some of the like helplines that you can call. There's a drug info, family drug helpline, youth substance abuse service, lifeline, and quitline. All these actually deal with like those who struggle with alcohol and tobacco abuse. And now, yeah, as mentioned before, it is, when you think about it, it's pretty fascinating to know that yet these things are still remain widely available, making it the reason why they're so easy to get abused. Okay, you see young kids waiting for adults to buy them alcohols as well, even tobacco as well. And yet all this abuse can lead up to like real serious disease in the future, which are totally preventable. So yeah, hopefully sharing this information with you, you're able to share this information with other people to actually, if you see anyone who's abusing it, just to remind them of the harmful effects it can have on their body, and not just on themselves, but those who love them as well. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this presentation. Thank you.